Hi. Have you recently been sexually harassed? Have someone said something that made you feel bad? Maybe a bad sex joke or a comment? Have anyone touched you in a way which violated you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are a victim of sexual harassment. And it is a good reason for you to watch this video and let everyone know about this. So, what is sexual harassment? Sexual harassment is an unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature that harms a victim. It can occur at a workplace or outside a workplace. It can interfere with an employee's ability to do a job or create a hostile, intimidating, or even offensive work environment. It sometimes can affect a tenant's rental housing situation or even a student's education. So, what is the law on sexual harassment? The British Columbia Human Rights Code forbids sexual discrimination. It could be sexual harassment in a public service or in a rental housing or unemployment circumstances. Everyone has the right to be free from sexual harassment in their employment and in the respect of rental housing situations or services that are provided to the public generally. Depending on what happened, it could be a crime pursuant to Section 264 of the Criminal Code of Canada. It says this, Section 264, subsection 1, no person shall, without lawful authority and knowing that another person is harassed or recklessly as to whether the person is harassed, engaged in conduct referred to in subsection 2 that causes that other person reasonably, in all circumstances, to fear for their safety or the safety of anyone known to them. Prohibited conduct. The conduct mentioned in subsection 1 consists of A. Repeatedly following from place to place the other person or anyone known to them. B. Repeatedly communicating with either directly or indirectly the person or anyone known to them. C. Besetting or watching the dwelling, house, or place where the other person or anyone known to them resides, work, carries on a business, or happens to be. Or D. Engaging in threatening conduct directed at the person or any member of their family. If you are a victim of sexual harassment, you may be able to sue the person committing the harassment for damages. So, example of sexual harassment. Number 1, quid pro quo harassment. It is a sexual behavior that you feel you must accept in order to keep your job, get a promotion, get a good mark, keep upkeeping of a rental unit. The harasser insists on sexual favors in exchange for benefits. The second example, number 2, vulgarity, unwanted touching, inappropriate touching, physical contact, patting, or grabbing. The guy's eyes and hand could engage in unwanted physical contact. Number 3, unwanted display of sexual pictures, sexual explicit graffitis, cartoons, viewing internet pornography, sexually degrading poster and objects, even supermodels on a calendar. That is, Alright, number 4, it is an environment where there are obscenities, sexual jokes, obscene jokes, sexual leering. It could be vulgar or sexual comment, stories, or innuendos. These may not be directed at anyone or was ever intended to be harassment, but they do create a hostile environment. Number 5, unwelcome and repeated flirtations, requests for date, unwelcome sexual suggestions or requests, an invitation to dinner or a movie, or to do some other social activity from a supervisor, teacher, landlord who implies that you must accept it or risk negative effect on your job, your marks in school, or your apartment. Number 6. Subtle pressure for sexual activity, including an unwanted invitation from a supervisor, co-worker, teacher, or landlord that is continually repeated. But not all invitations are sexual harassment. They can be innocent and reasonable requests that you can accept or reject without negative results. Number 7. Solicitation of or coercion of sexual activities, dates, or something similar with the implied or express promise of reward or preferential treatment, or with implied or express threat of punishment. And number 8. Staring at or making unwelcome comment about someone's body, sex, gender, or sexual orientation. So if you have been harassed, what are your options? What are your options if you are sexually harassed? Number 1. You could say, react immediately and directly if possible. Just say no. Sometimes you can talk to the person harassing you. The best response may be to tell the person that you don't welcome or accept such behavior, and if it is repeated, you will report it. Tell the person firmly that their action and comments are not acceptable, and ask them to stop. Stop! Sometimes talking to the harasser won't work, right? So the next best thing you can do is get someone else to explain it to them, right? Number 2, the second thing you can do is, if you are an employee, talk to your company supervisor or human resource person. Find out your employer's policy on human rights complaints. If you belong to a union, talk to the union steward. You have a right under the collective agreement between the union and employer to complain to the union about sexual harassment by the employer, a supervisor, or a co-worker. Number 3, you should keep a written record of every incident of harassment, when it occurs, and what was said. Tell someone else, like a trusted co-worker, friend, or family member, that you are being harassed. Your written record and the fact that you told someone may be important evidence if you file a complaint or sue. Number 4, fourth thing you can do. If the discrimination or harassment happens at work, in your apartment building, or in a store or restaurant, you should ask your employer, landlord, or manager to resolve it. Number 5, you can do the 5th thing, okay? File a complaint with the BC Human Rights Tribunal. The Tribunal website is www.bchrt.bc.ca. This website here has information on how to do this, right? You can phone the tribunal at 604-775-2000 in Vancouver. And if you're outside of Vancouver and somewhere in BC, call this number, 1-888-440-8844. The tribunal is located in Vancouver. It is on Robson, 605 Robson Street, suite number 1170, Vancouver, British Columbia, Victor 6 Bravo 5 Juliet 3. So, if the code covers your complaint, the tribunal will ask the other person to reply your complaint. It will try to help you and the other person settle the case. If that's not possible, the tribunal may hold a hearing. If your complaint is justified, the tribunal can make orders to stop the harassment and pay you money called damages for lost income, including, well, you know what, that's enough time for now. I got more to say on this, but I'll talk more in part 2, so please listen in, okay? Until next time.